Choosing food from time to time as comfort, a reward, or celebration isn't a bad thing. However, do you sometimes feel as if eating is your main emotional coping mechanism? That feeling when your foremost instinct is to make a trip to the kitchen in times of disappointment, anger, loneliness, stress, exhaustion, or even boredom? If you've answered yes to the above questions, then there is a possibility you get trapped in an unhealthy food cycle, one where the real feeling or problem is not addressed. Today, we're going to discuss a really relevant topic, one that I think is very important, especially in our current circumstances of social isolation and quarantine: strategies to stop emotional eating. Hi folks, Shahzadi here, your friendly neighborhood registered dietitian. Welcome back to my channel, Desi Licious Dietitian on Demand, where I share diet and wellness advice that cuts through the nutritional noise and serve up healthy, Desi licious recipes so you can be on top of your game. Here you'll access free recipes, nutrition and wellness videos to inspire health, whenever, wherever. I hope that all of you are keeping healthy and safe. Developing a healthy relationship with food is important at any time, but it's especially important during trying times. I know that none of us were really prepared to deal with the unique challenges that 2020 has posed. We're all living a lot closer to food, with our cupboards and fridges oh so accessible. And how do you counter pessimistic thoughts when it comes to your body and food without easy access to tactics such as exercise and meeting with your friends? The truth is simple. Sometimes you may not be able to. It feels like a good time to break down the basics and strategies to stop emotional eating so that you can manage it better for yourself during these extraordinary times. Emotional eating and hunger. Firstly, let's talk about hunger. Identifying the differences between physical hunger and emotional hunger is really important because it's the first step in teaching yourself to eat in response to cues your body is generating rather than your emotions. We normally think of physical hunger as that empty sensation in your stomach, so we eat. But emotional hunger tends to satisfy needs like an unmet emotion. In other words, emotional hunger is normally in response to a craving or a need for comfort rather than physical nourishment. Understanding what is driving your desire to eat is the first important step to developing a healthy relationship with food, particularly when we aren't feeling our best. The causes. Now we know how hunger breaks down, we can start to explore some of the triggers for emotional eating. It goes without saying that the stress of this year, the COVID-19 pandemic, and increased fear and uncertainty about the future carries with it a strong emotional and stress impact. We are living through unprecedented confusion and loneliness. For some, food is a genuine means to feel more at ease with the discomfort that this year has presented them. Triggers include health issues, boredom, living in confined spaces, the perception of food scarcity, and, interestingly, an overabundance of food thanks to lockdown grocery hauls. It boils down to this: food provides instant gratification on an emotional level. That's why we reach for the biscuit tin when we are going through a negative situation. It's a wanted distraction from what's going on in the world, helping us to fill a void when we need it. Is emotional eating a bad thing? I want to pause here to explore emotional eating a little more. It's normal to feel guilt and shame when it comes to stress eating. However, it's important to point out that it's a completely normal reaction. We are emotional creatures, and our emotions can have a huge influence on our decision making. Equally, pursuing comfort is completely normal too. Many of us will understand the feeling of having positive coping strategies up until we feel stressed and fry those samosas. That's completely fine, because emotional eating isn't a habit. When food becomes your only method of coping with daily stresses, that is when problems can arise. We don't want to ever be stuck in the emotional eating cycle of trigger, desire, overeating, and guilt. We know all too well that the instant gratification from food doesn't last, and that's where this cycle can arise. Put short, emotional eating is not something to be ashamed of, but is a symptom of something else that you can work to address. The more you practice identifying your emotions, the more self-aware of the cycle you become. This is one of the best strategies to stop emotional eating. Useful tools. Becoming an intuitive eater is something I've explored before. Remember to rely on tools in your toolkit, such as the hunger scale, which measures the tendency of satisfying our physical hunger. You can learn more about the hunger scale on the blog. The link is in the description box. There are also other strategies you can make use of. Building a self-care toolkit can be useful for learning how to deal with our emotions. Having a variety of tools is useful because what works in one stressful situation may not work for another. Try to find coping strategies that work for you and tap into those when you need. These might include safely exercising, listening to your favorite music, meditating, or learning some breathing exercises. There are many strategies and they are deeply individual, so do find some that work for you. What are the steps to overcome emotional eating? Overcoming emotional eating is a 4-stage process. Let's briefly explore each one. Firstly, it requires self-reflection. The next time you want to eat, think about what you are feeling. This can help you identify triggers for eating. Are you genuinely hungry or trying to fulfill an emotional need? Next, I find it really useful to journal. Write down what you are feeling and map out patterns in emotions or your triggers. This can help you notice when you are feeling anxious or stressed. After you've identified what you're feeling, pick something from your self-care toolkit. Use the hunger scale, go for a walk, have a bath, call a friend. This only improves as you become more in tune with your emotions. Finally, remember that you're not alone. Social interaction is something we are all craving. But take advantage of the benefits of technology to stay connected and manage your emotions. Establishing a healthy relationship with food is a form of self-care. But set good expectations for yourself. This isn't something that happens overnight. It's a process, and everyone's journey will look a little different. Changing behavior takes time, and in order to be more in tune with our bodies and implement strategies to stop emotional eating, we need to become more conscious and self-aware. There is no such thing as perfect eating, so be kind to yourself. But learning more about your body and the difference between physical and emotional hunger can help us have more self-compassion. That's more important now than ever. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up or leave me a comment. I'd love to know what nutrition and diet related topics you want me to dive into next. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to be a super subscriber, don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you never miss another video.